happiness comes when we realize that we have achieved our ultimate potential. And that potential comes in when we embrace the inner beast that we have. The man who says, I'm gonna do this shit, man. I'm gonna do this shit. That man, we have to embrace him, whatever it takes. And the bullshit that is evolving nowadays is that kind of a man is being called toxic simply because he's in a position of embracing what the society is not embracing. Hey folks, it's Alex here. Welcome back to Alflex Fit podcast. So today in this video we are going to tackle a very freaking crazy topic simply because at the end of the day, we as men, we have to narrow down to who we are meant to be, to the men that we wanted to become in the beginning. And that is all about this video simply because we are going to narrow back down to who we are as men, because we have to look back to who we were meant to be in the first place to understand where we are meant to be going. That is just what it is. And that is the reason as to why I just decided to shoot this video about the inner child of a man, simply because that is who, in the beginning of all this, that is who we were meant to be. And we have to look deep again and just understand who we are meant to be, And from that kind of blueprint, that is the only time when we can be in a position of understanding where we are headed. So, first of all, let's consider this as our transaction. With you getting value from these videos, it means that you are learning something. And from my side, the value that I get, apart from sharing the videos or the information and such, is by you having to subscribe to Alflex Fitness so that we can spread this information to more and more men. So let's consider this as our transaction. With you hitting the subscribe button and sharing the video, it's a great honor for me. So let's dive into the video. So first of all, I came to realize that when I was a young man, I used to have crazy ambitions, crazy goals, like doing crazy stuff. And you as well, I believe 100% that you have been considering those things back in the days when you were young. As men, we used to do some stuff that were masculine. But actually, I consider those days as when we were the most masculine that we can ever be. Simply because that young man, that young inner child back in the days, he used to have ambitions, He used to look up on men who have achieved whatever we wanted in the first place. And that is what that made us to be in a position of waking up every day and just going out there trying to figure out how can a person fit in a television set, how can a person fit in a radio box and such kind of things. And we tried to dismantle this stuff, and just to feed our curiosity of what the fuck is happening. We are trying to figure out what's up with life, And that is why I'm really saying is that the curiosity that we used to feed back in the days when we were young, that curiosity of going out there and doing things, even if it meant to be dangerous to us, that is what I'm saying. That is the baseline masculinity that we had. The inner child that we had from within, which was telling us, you have to do this, you have to find out how does this work, And at the end of the day, as time goes by, I came to observe that all of these kind of instincts kind of fade away, They kind of fade away with time simply because we get so much indoctrinated with things that we don't need, And at the end of the day, we end up being some freaking softies, some soft weirdos, of which it isn't making any sense. It is not making any sense. If you look very keenly from within, you will come to realize that as a man, you have the intentions of greatness. As a man, you have this vulnerable man who is like, we're gonna get this stuff, Like that inner child, the innocent guy who is like, you have to achieve something to really be meaningful in this life. And that's what we came to lose at the end of the day. As time goes by, we become so brainwashed by the media machine, everything that is happening, but all these freaking marketing strategies and all this bullshit. They end up deleting everything. Every essence of our manhood is all deleted along the way. And that is something that we have to fight for. That is something that we have to restore, simply because that is what that really matters to us. That curiosity that we had, that that hunger that we had when we were young, that is what have been eroded. And we have to be in a position of thinking on how we can retain that energy again, because that is what that makes us men. That curiosity, that hunger, and such kind of things, that is what that makes us who we are from within. And I kind of look at it like the inner beach and the inner man, the inner beast, I mean, the inner beach and the inner beast. As men, we have two sides. The inner beach is the one who is like really likes to negotiate about things that needs to be done. That kind of a young man who is like intentionally, like instinctively going towards fun, instant gratification, doing crazy stuff, and such kind of things. That is the inner beach that is like, yes, he wants something great for himself, but at the end of the day, he doesn't want to put in the hard work to get what he wants. That is what I'm saying. The inner beach is the one who is like, I want this thing, yet I'm not ready to fight for what I want to get it. I'm not ready to sacrifice whatever it takes to be sacrificed to get what I want, And that is the inner beach that we mostly negotiate with every now and then. And we end up living life like these unfulfilled men who have dreams, yet is not in a position of acquiring them. Unfulfilled man who is going out in life without knowing who he was meant to be, without having embodied that man who he was supposed to be in the first place. And that is something that you have to think about as a young man. That is something that you have to sit down and just think, I need to change some things. I need to change some things in my life. Because if we don't sit down and just contemplate on what needs to be done, as men, at the end of the day, we end up losing ourselves. And it's all the fault of that inner beach that we constantly feed. For instance, if we feel like I want to be happy and such kind of things, I go out and party anytime. I go out and drink. I go out and smoke some fucking weed. I watch pornography and such. I'm constantly feeding that inner beach, But if I evolve and start embracing that beast from within, that man from within who is like, we're gonna do this stuff, man. And that is why when we were young, we used to look up on people like Rambo, people like Van Diesel, Van Damme, and such kind of people. Those are the people who we wanted to be in the first place. The beasts, man. The beast, a man who is in a position of doing what he wants. And all of this is kind of like lost along the way. And this is what, as a man, you have to sit down and just understand. I have to bring this beast back, Because you allowed the inner child to constantly be vulnerable, to constantly be weak. You allowed his weakness to infiltrate into you. And at the end of the day, your edge of masculinity has been eroded, And that is what you have to understand as a man. You have to delete that inner bitch. I understand very well. He might be in a position of making your life funny or some fucking happy. But happiness doesn't matter to men. It doesn't matter, Our happiness comes when we realize that we have achieved our ultimate potential. And that potential comes in when we embrace the inner beast that we have. The man who says, I'm gonna do this shit, man. I'm gonna do this shit. That man, we have to embrace him, whatever it takes. And the bullshit that is evolving nowadays is that kind of a man is being called toxic simply because he's in a position of embracing what the society is not embracing. The society is embracing for you to become that inner fucking child, in a bitch who is just dancing on TikTok's challenges and all this bullshit. But if you look introspectively, that is not who we are meant to be. That is not what we admire as men. And that's why I'm calling you young men to understand that we have to go for what we want. We just don't have to settle for this tiny bullshit that is happening in the society today. We have to get out there and just understand that we are the beasts. We are the beasts, and we have to make a massive change for our family. We're not meant to be soft. We're not meant to allow that inner fucking bitch to just constantly destroy us in every other way. And at the end of the day, 30 years, 50 years, we haven't yet achieved what we wanted. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? You have to understand that inner beast have to be embraced. The work that you have to do, you have to put the sacrifices that you have to sacrifice. You have to wake up every day as a man and just understand, this is my duty, this is my responsibility to go out there and chase what I want. That is what it is. Young men out there, I'm just super grateful simply because Alflex Fitness podcast is here, and it's gonna make ripples, it's gonna make waves, big dog. And I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop until I see that I have achieved that greater level of myself. And you too, you shouldn't stop, because whenever you stop, you are embracing that inner bitch. And that is something that we have encouraged in this video. Discouraged, I mean. That is something that we have discouraged. We have to change that shit and just embrace that beast from within who is telling us, we're gonna do this shit and we're gonna achieve what we want. Be the best version of yourself. See you at the top. Adios.